Hey, absolutely. Hey, AB, welcome in. Yeah, we're getting ready to go on ahead here and start. Just need to and then go on ahead and just start us on it. So, we're here right now on the next chapter of the Iacon Battle Circuit, the podcast series, The Space Bridge. Here, my next chapter here is one of our returning guests here. I want to reintroduce you guys to Clementine. Shy Clem Bunny Pop. Alright, what's going on? It's been a minute since I had a chance to have you back on the Space Bridge.
Can't complain. Just trying to live.
I understand.
Halloween around the corner.
Does it come sooner or later out there in the UK or Australia?
I am not in the UK nor Australia, so I wouldn't know.
Which one? Or where? Well, all the same. Does it come sooner?
It's on the 31st. Well, I got a kid, and she likes that sort of stuff.
The candy part or the dressing up part?
Both.
Hey, that'll work. Hey, do you get the cosplay too? Dress up? And hopefully get the cosplay. Dress up as what you would like to dress up as, not cosplay. I keep defaulting to cosplay for some
reason. I do it for the spirit. I don't even know what I'm dressing up as. I got like 800 different costumes. I'm gonna just throw something on, pass out some candy, and call it a day.
I think that definitely sounds like the W. Alright, let me go ahead and start us on in to our first question here, and we can get the ball humming and bumping.
Gotcha.
And then if there's anything that we feel like we didn't get, or if you want to follow up, just let me know, and we can also continue to go down the board from there in a follow-up.
Okay.
So question 1. What do you think was the lore for projectL to be born or created out of the League of Legends? Well, for 2XKO basically, projectL being its predecessing name, and then rebranded it. What do you think was the reason why League of Legends pivoted into this?
Honestly, I think they just wanted to tackle a group that is already hard to please because of how niche it is. Like, League of Legends is extraordinarily popular, as we already know. And they're just trying to dip their toes, you know what I'm saying? But pulling someone from the FGC and letting them, work very heavily on this particular project, they're probably saying something like, hey, the FGC, they're used to this sort of, system, but let's try to bring them into the new system that we're all doing and that everyone else is doing, like Marvel Rivals and Fortnite. But instead of battle royales, it'll be fighting games. Can you do it? And I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not into that sort of stuff. Like, it's cool. It's great that it's free. I love free stuff. Yeah. But I saw them price tags, and I'm just like, this is just for cosmetics? I'm good. Like, I'm chilling with all that. That was like, what was it, $100 for the premium package thing? I was like, look, if y'all like costumes and y'all want it that badly, go right ahead and do it. But if it don't change the gameplay, then they don't got nothing to do with me. I am not their targeted audience. And I feel like a lot of the FGC is similar in that regard. Like, don't get me wrong. In Street Fighter, everyone's talking about costumes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's not changing the game. The costumes don't change the game. They don't enhance your character other than its aesthetics. And I feel like that's what a lot of people, especially stronger players, really care about. But when they're charging, $100+ for these packages, and then on top of that, you can't even get specific costumes that you want. Like, let's say I wanted just the Jinx costume. I gotta buy the whole $100 thing. I don't want to pay $100 just for that one costume.
Exactly.
I don't know. They gotta separate it, separate the tiers a bit more. Like, if people want the bundle, that's cool, that's great. But I feel like the way that they're approaching it is a little strong. But in terms of the lore, right? They just want to do what every other company's doing. They saw the success of Fortnite, they saw the success of Marvel Rivals, and they wanted to dip their toes into it. They already got one of the most popular games of all time. Why not make it a fighting game? Fighting games are booming. Like, genuinely, I've lost track on how many fighting games there are currently and how many are coming out.
Yeah, because like this year alone, from 2024 into 2025, there's been a really prosperous upsurge of a lot of variety in the fighting game market now. A lot changed in just almost a year, and it's still going to change again in the next year.
Right, right.
But anyway, I have it up on the screen now with the starter edition, with the casual that was the standard edition, that's the $41.99, the deluxe edition that was $83.99, and then the ultra that's $139.99.
And see, I'm not even upset about the price in particular. Yes, it is shocking for someone like me, but I'm not extremely shocked. What I'm more shocked about is there's no specific sections for specific things. Like, again, if I want a specific costume, I want that costume and only that costume. I don't care about having, a sweet looking Echo costume if I'm never going to play the character.
Exactly. Like, if you're going to pay the money for the diversity, then at least have the individual abundance there to pick and choose from in your investment.
Right, right. And I feel like that would actually make them a lot more money because that gives people options. It gives people, a better understanding of what they want. Because I also saw that there was what was it? It was like a rotation of like legendary skins. Like, on one day you'll have like 3 or 4 characters with exclusive legendary skins, and then like maybe like a week later or something, it's something completely different. And if you miss your shot, you just gotta wait, I guess. Or I could just pay for it and not have to wait. And I don't know what they're doing in terms of the battle pass. Like, I know I can unlock certain things in the battle pass, but I don't know what's all is available and if it will even be available by that point. Because, not everyone's going to be playing that game religiously. And let's say you wanted to play certain characters online, but you didn't want to pay money for it, right? It costs, what, 10,000 of those tickets just to get one character? I'm like, man, you gotta play this game religiously to make that amount. Now, to be fair, you do have access to all of the characters offline, which I think is great.
That's good. And well, I get the feeling like for them, for offline, I got this brief feeling like you have full access to all the characters that are like base roster, that are considered base roster. The more we get ready to expand that roster.
Yeah, like I know they were telling us that with each new season that's coming to an end, they'll always add like a new character or something. And those characters will be available offline. They got the combo trials for each one of them. And I think that's really cool. Like, I would want that. I want them to keep that. Because I saw people and they surprised me. Because again, this ain't my mentality. They were just like, man, take my money. I'll spend $100. Heck, I'll spend $200 on this pack. I'm like, are you serious? These are costumes. He's like, yeah, they're costumes. I'm like, are you that starved for costumes? Like, you would really drop $200 for costumes? And I'm like, I guess that's that Fortnite mentality,
about
man.
to say that's a Fortnite bug. That's not an FGC bug. That's a Fortnite bug.
They were for real, and that's where my mindset is at. I'm just like, is the FGC going to pay enough for them to keep this afloat? Because I'll say this now, the game itself, it's not hard, but it's not easier either. Like, I wouldn't say that this is any easier than Dragon Ball Fighters. You still gotta worry about neutral, footsies, frame data. The only difference is that it's a one button special move, which is probably going to make the game even harder because, so many FGC legends are just, now they have access to stupidly easy controls. They're going to gatekeep.
Easier execution shit.
Way easier. So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, D Legend in
I
chat
don't
says
know
to
how
tell
it's gonna
you.
go. Hello. But yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I hope the game does well. I've been having fun with it. I just want it to last. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna probably have some open lobbies. I'm gonna beat up some guys. I'm gonna get beat up. And then I'm gonna call it a day, I don't really care for costumes. I got my team, Jinx and Warwick. And, I mean, that's just kind of it.
Yeah. And also a little bit of time I've been playing the game in order to try and put it together. I found myself liking Jinx and the Octopi girl.
Alawi.
Yeah, Alawi.
I just call her Squid Game.
That's what we're playing. Playing the game of footsies when the squid's upon us. The octopi do not play in the nooch.
They do not play.
Let me read the lore you popped in here. Absolute. Let's see. The lore is simple. Riot wants to be a gaming company for all types of games. Rising Thunder was in development, but it wasn't getting much progress because of funding. Riot saw an opportunity, and so they bought out Rising Legends. Also, the cosmetic price is normal for Riot games. Okay, so they went the shark route and then bought out an opponent. They bought out one of their opponents in order to incorporate it into their conglomerate. Okay, question 2. Feeding into that lore, do you think the name change of projectL to 2XKO was really needed? And if so, why do you think that? Why that was more marketable?
I like projectL. It rolls off the tongue. 2XKO just sounds like a mouthful.
Say 2XKO sounds like a buzz name or a buzzword that's trying to be a name or a label.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, Okay, KO. You
OK
remember
Corral,
that cartoon?
the OK Corral, or OK KO. I think I remember it. The weird little like it feels like a comic strip out of a newspaper type of cartoon.
I just know everyone be throwing hands. That's all I remember from it. But I just remember the intro to it. Okay, KO.
I remember that. It took me a bit to warm up to that cartoon, but I actually did kind of like it as it went along. And I was sold after the Sonic collab. I didn't think that they had it in to just whip that out of nowhere. But I like it. I did like it.
Yeah. But even if it was a placeholder name, Project L just sounds so good. Like I don't know what it is about the letter L, but it made it so much cooler. Like even if they called it Project League, I would have been okay with that.
I think that would have been fitting. And you know what? When you think about the L in like in an acronym sense, that might have been what it could have been, which is Project League. But instead of taking League, that way it's not directly associated with League of Legends other than the characters and a pivot of the IP. It just shares just that. So the name was to be different.
Well, I mean, it's better
Uh,
than Project Legends, because
Definitely.
that would have sounded
That would have sounded like a knockoff of
that
Apex
would have
Legends or
sounded
some
like,
shit.
or even like Dragon Ball Legends.
That too. Let me read
But
what you put
like
in chat.
Project League, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds crazy. I love that.
Yeah. Alright, let me see what you put in chat. Absolutely. So Project L is definitely better than 2XKO, but Project L was always just a placeholder name. All Riot games are like that. Valorant was Project A and still in development. Now you see that right there is like an IP cop out. They could have just probably well, granted, yeah, Valorant it was a better selling point in the name and fidelity than Project A, but I don't know. I still prefer the name. But the thing is, when Valorant first came out, they didn't first advertise it or leak it as Project A. That was just what it was still in development until the beta, like the very first or earliest betas of Valorant. Like here, like the beta was still given as Project L, and then well, the very first one, and then the secondary one, if we had open or less restricted access to it, then that's when they hit us with the name change in order to try and establish that the new IP.
And I see what they were trying to do, but here's the thing. The FGC, we like simple names. Dragon Ball Fighters, that's just DBFZ. Or just Fighters. And everyone knows what you're talking about. SF5, SF6, SF7, Street Fighter. You know, it's easy. Tekken, it's one word. Right?
Right.
But then you got 2XKO. That is 4 syllables, and there's no way to abbreviate it. Like Project L, that's 3 syllables, but you could just say PL, and people would probably still know what you're talking about.
Probably.
Probably, possibly. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's not a future that we have.
People
But
just say
Project L,
2X when they
it
don't
just
want to
rolls
say
off the tongue.
2XKO. Yeah, but absolutely, that's lazy. You just say 2x when they don't want to say 2XKO. Well, you can't say it. You can't spare an extra half a second to say KO. KO to the brain cells.
And they don't. I've never seen anyone say X unless they're talking about the assist.
Maybe. I mean,
Like
maybe.
two times a six. I've never, like, no one in my community. They always say the full name. They always say 2XKO or they just say Project L.
There could be.
They're
There could be
like they
places out
don't
there that do
abbreviate
that.
it.
Yeah, but there could be places or discords out there that do that and just lackluster somewhat to the abbreviation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think it's Do you think it's too simple? Do you think it's too? Do you think it's just a mouthful?
I don't think 2X or 2XKO is a mouthful in its name. I don't think that. It's very straightforward, right? I just don't think it rolls off the tongue as fluently as the predecessing namesake. It took a while for that name to sell, whereas Project L just sold instantly.
So,
I think the name of this game should have been Rising Legends. Now, that's a very interesting observation, absolutely. I actually could have co-signed that too, because if they tried to sell something like that, I could believe that, and it would take a bit, but that could also kind of stick more than a 2XKO did. Predecessing Rising Thunder.
and if they
League of
really
Legends.
wanted to,
Nice.
if they really wanted to like sell into the point that it's a tag game, they could have been like tag or Legends tag something. I don't know. Like Tekken has Tekken tag, and most people know what the heck they're talking about. I
Yeah.
don't know. I know they really wanted to lean into like you're not alone in the fight type beat. It's not just a game. And Project L doesn't really portray what they are trying to do. So I can understand the change. But I don't know. Name it. That's just it is what it is. Personally, I think people would have been okay if they just kept it as Project L. Even if it didn't make much sense. Honestly, it just sounds good.
Yeah.
2X Legend? Maybe.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
2XL? Like
Hang on. Now that might have worked. That might have worked. Now, in the lamest sense, 2XL. Now that sounds fat, but that actually sounds good. Like, you got to think about how marketable.
it sounds like a. Oh, it sounds like an extra large, bro. It just sounds like. I mean, that might be a little too simple. I ain't gonna lie. Like it is simple, but like
it might work.
that's just gonna make me. No, they can't call it that, and they only drop like what 10 characters at launch. Nah, they can't do that.
No.
They can't do that. They can't do that. They would have gotten flamed. They would have gotten flamed.
Release. Yeah, they might have gotten flamed though, because that's not a fat release.
They would have gotten flamed.
Now this starting edition, that's a fat paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the 2XL is.
I don't know. Like,
actually, there are 11 characters at launch.
I don't know.
Yes,
like
11.
Project L. You got. Yes, you're right. 11.
Yes, one more than the added one. But
See, and 11 characters wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad if it wasn't a team game.
That part.
But the fact that it is, that's what's making it like really, really unappealing for a lot of people.
Right. And now I'm gonna also pull up Exhibit A here, which is Avatar. I'm gonna pull up my point here. Because this Hush Puppy just came out with its pre-mission. That has 12.
For the Avatar! Yes.
It has like a total of 12 characters at launch.
Now this is a smaller company, if I'm not mistaken. Like
Yes.
a way smaller team. So it makes sense that they don't have a lot of characters.
Yeah, but they somehow were still able to squeeze out the magic number. We didn't even have to work on it, they just gave it.
we also have to think of it like this. Project L or 2XKO, they are trying to come characters from a completely different game style into a completely different game style. But in Avatar, it's not actually that difficult to pull 12 plus characters from the series and make it work into a fighting game. Like, I would say it's a lot easier to do that than try to convert already, you know, established and felt characters that people have been playing for years. And so this character is supposed to feel familiar, but it's fighting games. Like, he is supposed to be annoying. Even in League of Legends, he's a very, very annoying character to deal with. And they have to translate that.
I read up on his lore, so they definitely had to make it lore accurate. So it made sense that he was already going to come in, small character and a zoner, but a very creative zoner. So, hey, community's kind of got to hold that.
And they have to be careful with that too. They have to be careful with that too, because small character means small hitbox, and a small hitbox means how am I supposed to do combos? Yeah. So they have to really make Teemo fat.
Exactly. They got to kind of make him like bulky in his hitbox and his hurtbox presentation. Otherwise, you just kind of inadvertently dropped a kind of finicky looking high tier out of nowhere.
Right. So they have to be real careful. And that's only going to get harder as they add more characters and as the FGC doing their thing and finding the most broken things possible. They're going to have to fix them accordingly. Like, Yasuo? Yeah, nah, he's a problem. Like, I'm sorry, but he's a problem. And they're just going to have to... They're going to have to find the balance with him. They got to make him fun enough to play... But they have to make him balanced enough to play against. I don't know how he plays in League of Legends. In fact, I don't know how anyone plays in League of Legends. I don't play the game.
Same.
But
all you can do is just see how they build new... Because that's the thing. Each of the characters that are coming over here, they're either a previous character over there that now has an extension to the lore to add a visible thing to it, or they're going to be an all-new original character here that is going to have a newfound lore in the League of Legends continuity. They actually said...
surprised that they had some of those characters, because I thought projectL was just going to start with all of the arcane characters.
That's
all of the characters that was introduced. Because they had a lot of characters that I didn't even realize were... like actual champions. I just thought they were just random characters, but they actually sprinkled a lot of different characters and crammed them into a show. And I was like, oh, well, we're definitely gonna see Jace. We're gonna see, what's his name, Victor, whatever his name is. I mean, like, we're definitely gonna see him, right? Like, that's what my thought process was. We're gonna see freaking Mel and her mom. They gotta be champions. But no, they went to a different route. You know, showing characters I've never seen before. Like, I didn't know who the freak Braum was. He was a dude with a cool mustache and a giant shield. And then Yasuo, well, he's just a samurai to me. Alawi, she's just a big girl with tentacles.
That's about it.
Like, I don't know these characters.
Now, funny enough, actually, before Jinx came into this equation, the only character on here I actually knew from League lore was Ahri.
See, I didn't even know her. I only knew
because they have
Jinx and Echo. I only knew Jinx and I knew Echo. Because Jinx, I mean, come on now. I play Harley Quinn. I have problems. But Echo, I mean, it's hard not to see Echo. You see him everywhere.
Yeah, it's like trying to be like the impression I get from him, honestly, is like the fighting game version of a Tracer-like character, like Tracer from Overwatch type of character.
Yes. He is a very
So,
Tracer like character.
so his archetype is very sellable in a game like this.
You know, very fast, very hard to master because of how fast you gotta move. You gotta be very confident in your button presses. He actually has some. He got some sauce. I ain't gonna lie, he got some sauce. But he's not the easiest character to just pick up. You gotta figure out his rewind and, you know, how it works and what combos into what.
I'll see. We say absolute. Angel Beast, welcome in. We're doing pretty good. Sit and chill. We're
Angel!
just getting started with the podcast here for 2XKO. If you guys out there lurking, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post them in. And then we'll also go over those while we're going through. They didn't start with only arcane characters because they want to attract League players too. And that would be way too many split-over characters, and League fans wouldn't like that. Ari is the most popular character from League. Ari has a $100 skin in League, not a... What the hell?
That's ridiculous.
Look up the Faker Ari skin. Say less. But meanwhile...
I'm scared. I'm not looking that up.
I'll look that up in a second. But meanwhile, question 4. Okay, so... to call this game a savior to the FGC, I feel is hard coping. But there's a handful of people on PlayStation side that have looked at it like that, and I hate that reference because this game is not to be crowned that just because it's free to play. Others can suggest it while exaggerated. It does house a decent chunk of what you would like or want, what you're expected to play, yes, but that doesn't mean that's what this is, even after a month or so in. My question is, on that term, what does 2XKO mean to you?
Well, it is not the savior of the FGC. I'll say that. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think the FGC needs saving. We are eating good. Let's keep it a buck, bro. We got a lot. But to answer your question, 2SKO is an opportunity for me to branch out, you know, find new communities, and understand a community that I just simply was not involved in for so long. Like, of course, we're going to see some of the familiar faces, but what if, you know, Tyler 1 picks up this game? Ain't he a big League of Legends dude? Who's like really good at picking up games very quickly? And he was playing Street Fighter on modern controls. He might like this game. And if he really likes this game, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people are gonna follow just because he likes the game. I think it's an opportunity, and it's free. It gives me an opportunity to figure out, you know, new FGC cool stuff, but it also gives me an opportunity to, again, just meet new people, meet new friends. I like meeting new people, and it's very easy access. The biggest problem right now is that it's not on console. I don't know it's going to be crossplay or cross save. Right now it's only on PC, and you know, only PC players can experience it. And they already got a rank mode on top of that. So
all
man, consoles.
All that shit really just pisses me off in its marketing. Like, really just said, like, for PlayStation and console, it kind of just get fooped for a while. And PC just eats, and PlayStation will get the scraps later on when we decide to open up the shop fully. Like,
Right.
if you wanted this game to sell for everything in the first impression, then why didn't you open up the gates initially for that?
Again, not to mention, it's free. So you're gonna get feedback regardless.
Exactly.
Let us find the bugs. Like, again, we know there are going to be bugs. We know the game's going to be janky. We know this. But let us, the audience, help you so you can sell a better game. Y'all have already said, we're going to have long support for this game. Let us help you. Because people are going to buy. Dude, they're going to buy. That's just what's going to happen. But as long as you keep showing support, showing that you really care, not only on the FGC side of things, but on the League of Legends side of things. Because again, you're trying to appeal to two very different audiences. The FGC, they don't do, free to play, paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars on pointless cosmetics. That's just not what we do, unless it's over a long span of time. Like Street Fighter 5, most people have the outfits, but they didn't buy it all at once. Oh, goodness, no. But when it comes to something like Fortnite, no singular person has every single costume bought on Fortnite. That's just not reasonable. That's not, no. There's too much. And they keep adding new things. There's always something new.
Always. So it's never possible to have everything. You can only have what you're allowed to have.
And that's the two audiences that they have to please, essentially. Because the FGC, they care about, does the game work good? That's what they care about.
Not about whether or not it looks good, but whether or not it works good. Like, hell, you've seen games live for years, literally on just nuts and bolts in its visual presentation, but if the gameplay is solid, it lives for years. Or decades.
Look at Xenoverse.
Look at early Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. Or Arcana Heart.
That. I don't know it.
Or what's it? You can even look at Virtual Fighter. Like IPs that have been around in the game a long time. That don't need to have the best visual graphics in order to still have a very beautiful presentation for gameplay experience.
That's exactly right. Because that's what I was saying for Xenoverse. I've heard the critiques. Nobody liked Xenoverse's models. Not even me. We complain all the time about it. And yet, that game is still getting support to this very day. It has outlived
all of its competition in its own archetype to this day.
It outlived Kakarot. It's outliving Dragon Ball FighterZ. It outlived Sparking Zero. And these are games that came after Xenoverse 2. And Xenoverse 2 is still going. Don't it got like 21, 22 different DLCs? Something like that.
It's about 15 at minimum that I remember.
It's something, bruh. They got a lot. But it's all about, again, does the game work good? And, well, yeah, clearly it does. It's easy to pick up, it's understandable, and there's a lot of creative freedom. And
that's not a common word you can use in a lot of games.
Right. Like, why do you think Elden Ring got so popular so quickly? It won Game of the Year because you have extreme creative freedom. You can play the game nearly however you want. Like, genuinely. It's not my type of game, but creative freedom is what people literally strive for whenever they're playing a video game. They want to have that freedom, especially in a fighting game. That's how people get extremely creative. That's why Dragon Ball Fighters popped off so hard when we saw all of these different loops, these new tech. It was easy to understand, but it was hard to master. And now Street Fighter is leading the pack again. A lot of creative freedom. I've seen so many different Kens, I've lost count. And you would think a lot of them play the same, and some do. But a lot don't. They play very differently, despite having the same tools. So, I mean, I don't know. If you can have that for 2XKO, I'm all for it. So far, every Yasuo plays the same, at least to me. Every Teemo plays the same. Every Warwick plays the same. Every Jinx plays the same. Like, I don't know. I think the only character that like plays very differently is like Ari and like maybe Echo. But like everyone else, they played the same way. It's very hard to have that creative freedom. And with Yasuo, yeah, he has cool swaggy combos, but everyone's doing the same combo because it's easy and it does a lot of damage.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Well, we gotta wait and see what's going on here, or at some point we can take a look at what I think the first 2XKO tournament that had happened, and we can try and get an idea to see some of that visual creativity.
Hopefully.
And see what it is that happened in the very first one, because there is one that had already happened by. Cause I think Tampa had it.
I gotta watch it.
Tampa or Paragon had it.
Of course. Tampa, Florida, never sleeping.
Next question.
Next question.
I know I don't like that the core roster is like this small and attack-based fighters, but I mean, I guess the bare minimum does sits well with the consumer to some degree. My thing here is, are you content with the noticeable roster size on release like this, regardless of the state of play?
So, with me, I feel like it's a really hard juggling act balance that they have to keep in mind. A smaller roster is way easier to manage, which gives that creative freedom. Every character is thought out, every character is unique, every character, has its strengths and weaknesses. They are meant to be played. Even if they are just objectively weaker than others, people will find a way to make them work because they are well thought out. But, on the other hand, a small roster means not that much variety. You're not going to see that many variety of teams because people, they're really good at finding the best things. No one's going to be playing Braum, because why play Braum when you could just play Yasuo? Why play Blitzcrank when you could just play Jinx? Why play Vi when you could just play Warwick or Echo? And that's kind of the big thing. With me, I was struggling to find an actual team because the only character I cared about was Jinx. Warwick came out. He's fun. He's great. Very, very fun to play. But I'm only playing him because he is the only other interesting character for me. But imagine if he didn't come out. I didn't care for Teemo because I didn't want to play two zoners.
I mean, it's a hell of a game plan that you can enact on, but you got like a big body and a small body, well, average body and a small body. One with mobility and another one that kind of just is dabbling in set play, but you could play a full range game. It's just how finicky would that be in order to try and have a combo plan?
And I don't play zoners. I just typically don't play zoners.
Like I play with dice. He might take that.
I play characters that have zoning tools, But like just straight up zoner, yeah, Jinx is a first for me. Cause like Harley, she had zoning tools, but like she wasn't a zoner.
Yeah, if you're talking about like Injustice style, she had zoning potential, zoning potential, but was just hardcore rush down.
Right. Or Android 18. She has zoning tools, but she's not a zoner.
Right.
And with Jinx, that's very different for me. So I'm just like, okay, I'm playing the crazy girl because I always play the crazy girl in every single game. But now I have to play another character, and I don't care about anyone else. Like at first, I was gonna play Vi. Vi is difficult, and her synergy with Jinx is weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like they have it, but the problem is Jinx helps Vi better than Vi helps Jinx. So I was just like, that's not really for me. But I played her because she was like the only character that I remotely cared about.
Just her?
Vi, like
Yeah.
over everyone else. Cause like I didn't care about playing Echo, didn't care about playing Braum, didn't care about Dari. I didn't even know who that was. Didn't care about playing Ari. And then Warwick came out. I'm like, yeah, but now everyone's gonna be playing him. And at the end of the day, yeah, he's fun now. But what about later down the road? Am I still gonna be playing him? Am I gonna be playing another character? I don't have that many options. I'm not interested in everyone else. And Jinx, she kind of does her thing, right? Like she has great synergy with Echo, but I don't play Echo. I don't want to learn him. He feels like a specialist character.
Yeah, like his playstyle is like versatile for the ladder of the cast, but you want to try and have specific characters that probably bring out the best of his game plan setup.
And ironically enough, that is Jinx. Jinx helps him so much. I just don't play Echo. and that was kind of my big thing. I was just like, because of the small roster, it's hard for me to find a second character. Like, it feels like a lot of people have figured out their very first character that they want to play. Like, oh yeah, I'm definitely playing Echo. Don't care about anyone else. Or, yeah, I 100% want to play Yasuo. Don't really care about anyone else. I want to play Jinx. Don't really care about anyone else. And it's just like, now it makes me wonder, should this have just been a one-on-one? It would have been a lot easier to pick up. But the fact that it's a two-player game, yeah, it's gonna be rough. And I know they tried to give the option of Juggernaut and, Sidekick, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You're just hindering yourself at that point. Why would you ever play Juggernaut when you have access to two characters that allow you to do the most broken stuff in the game?
My thought with that is I feel like they took an inspiration from schoolgirls in that ideology, in trying to forcefully want to have the player to play a handicap, but with a health being conscientious of health management, or splitting the health properly between the two, unless the health pool doesn't do that, if I'm not mistaken. Because in schoolgirls, you can play a 1v2 or a 1v3, but it also distributes the health pool to be slightly larger than it naturally is in a one-on-one. That way it compensates for like the health of two characters on one character.
Juggernaut does do that. You do have more health. I don't think it justifies it though, because people get TOD'd in this game.
That's gonna be a long ass
I mean,
though.
I mean, just with my team alone, I can do like 60-70% with one combo. And that's both on regular characters and Juggernaut. There's no reason. Like, you're getting two touched. Especially when people start getting better at the game. You're not gonna want to play it. It's very unappealing. Like, freestyle, 2x assist, and double down. Those are literally going to be the best ones. And it all depends on the team that you're playing. Like, for Jinx, double down is probably the best. But for, like, Echo, he's good at freestyle and, 2x assist. Same with Teemo. Like, they just kind of, they do their own things. But those three are going to be the most played. I don't see anyone using Sidekick. I haven't seen a single person use Sidekick. I've seen a couple Juggernauts, and they all lost because they just have one character. They have no assist. They are butt naked and neutral. Like, I'm sorry. That's like trying to play fighters without your assist. Everybody knows that if you're the last character, you better hope you have Spark. Because you're getting cooked. Right, because you're getting cooked. The reason people even get bodied in fighters when it's like a 1v3 is because of Spark. But without it, I'm not gonna lie, you're getting steamrolled.
Yeah. Because, what was this? 2x doesn't have a comeback mechanic or any type of, like, innate resource like a Spark or X Factor or Resonance Fate, doesn't it?
It does. So, when you have your character, you have Breaker, but that's not a comeback mechanic. But when you are by yourself, so just one character, you have Fury. And Fury activates in a couple of different ways. You could do it in a combo, you could do it defensively, or you could do it in neutral. And they all have different times for how long they are active. So if you just do it in neutral, then it will last the longest. If you do it defensively, it'll last the shortest. And if you do it in a combo, I believe it just, it's the middle ground.
Fury is when they're in red, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And, I mean, it is a breaker, but you also do more damage. I don't know everything that it can do. I think it can heal you. But I just know you just do stupid amounts of damage, and you're killing them in one B&B combo. So they do have a comeback mechanic, but I just don't think it's enough. Personally, I don't think it's enough for, those extra strong resources. Like, having access to two characters and being able to switch back and forth whenever you want. And unless you're playing Juggernaut, you don't have a way to tag in my character. Once I tag in my other character, you just gotta hold that. Which is, yeesh, that's rough.
It's absolute. Fury does more damage, you heal Grey Life, and you dash cancel attacks on hit and block. Okay, so it's okay, so it gives
a
you
comeback mechanic.
Okay, so it gives you the frame advantage and or maneuverability like Spark. And then
I believe you move faster. I think you move faster.
Heals Grey Life, not Blue Life. Okay, so then that's like the okay, and then the other part, that's kind of like a nerfed thing of like Resonance and from like Blaze Blue's comeback mechanic. Okay, I got you. question.
Next question.
With what you know or played in the betas, do you feel an angle of in-game pay-to-win or a more detailed outline to the battle pass is incoming? If not, what do you think is going to be the main route for fiscal return from the consumer?
The cosmetics. I don't think this game is pay to win. Genuinely, because you have the option to just play the game. Like, you can farm with your friends and you get the tickets. Yeah, it's a long time. Don't get me wrong. 10,000 tickets. That's a lot for just one character. But if I'm understanding this correctly, you get to keep those tickets forever. So the more you keep playing the game, you just keep accumulating more and more and more tickets. And if there's a character you really want that badly, well, you would have to, unlock them. And here's the crazy part. That only applies to online. You have all of the characters offline. So if you want to play him offline. Understand how he works. If you like him, sure, you could play him online. You could pay to play him online. Or you could just play the game, earn the points, and unlock them. I don't think this game is extreme pay to win like something like Street Fighter could potentially be, because you would have to buy the DLC characters. But if you're asking where all the money's gonna be going, it's definitely gonna be those cosmetics. I don't know if people are gonna just straight up buy the battle pass, because that would still involve them actually having to play the game. But I don't know. I think so. I think that's where that's gonna head.
Okay, so you think it's gonna be more or less than the cosmetics, and I think if they do the cosmetics right, like the league predecessor, then that'll probably be a definitive sell.
Right. As long as they get new characters, I don't care. I mean, if I like the character enough, sure, I'll probably buy it. I'll probably cough up some dough. But otherwise, I'm just gonna keep playing the game until I can just unlock them all. To play online. And even then, that's it. If I want to play them online. I'm probably never gonna play Echo online. So he's probably gonna be locked forever. Or Vi. Or Blitzcrank. I'm not gonna play them online. So, there's no point for me to, buy them. Because I can just play them offline.
Next question. I want to go into the mechanics and the execution. So, from its beta stage releases, I do have a personal testimony from at least 5 people at offlines that have told me that the mechanics did change between the first and the second beta, and then they also changed again in the third one that we had before the finalized, quote unquote, finalized state of the current release. So, based on your FGC background, new or old, how expressive did the game feel for you? Or how much do you expect to see the same or change in that expressive nature that this game has?
Expressiveness. I feel like the game is a lot easier than it was. With some of the mechanics and whatnot. When I first played the beta, I was in that, I believe, second or third to last beta or whatever, and I was like literally tail end, so I didn't even get a chance. This was back before Jinx was even playable. So I was just playing Alawi. But back then it was a lot harder to do, you know, both of your level ones and your level 2 or level 3 or whatever. It was harder to do that back then just because the controls were really weird and we just did not have time to work them out. Not to mention Pulse. That used to be a fuse, but they changed that and made it way easier to do your Super 1. Press one of the, strength buttons and special 1. And then for your second Super, one of the strength buttons and special 2. It was a lot easier. At least on a controller, it was way easier. And you got your big level 3 or level 2 or whatever. I don't know how much it cost. I don't be paying attention. But your big one, you press S1 and S2, boom, you got your big super. It was way easier to understand, way easier to execute. I feel like as people are playing the game more, it's a lot easier to do the they're getting used to the S1 and S2 rather than doing quarter circles, and I feel like that's like gonna be the big identity for this game, and a lot of games are gonna try to follow. It was a really big and bold move for them to just do, this is your special move, instead of doing quarter circles. And I know Marvel Tokon is going to be doing something similar with the one button specials. Even Street Fighter, I got modern controls, one button specials. But this game, you have to learn the one button specials. And because of that, that is going to be its defining factor. That's going to be its identity. That's going to be its, expression. And I don't think that's going to change. I don't think they're going to add a fuse where you have to do quarter circles or DP inputs. I don't think they're ever going to add something like that. I think they're going to hammer down or double down on what they already have and just expand from there. They already have something good going, I feel. Now all they need to do is just figure out the feedback. Figure out what needs to be changed, what needs to, be added, what needs to be taken away.
Yeah, the balancing act.
But I think it's in Alright. I think it's in a good spot. For what it is. I'm enjoying it. A lot of other people are enjoying it. I think it has a great identity. Special 1, Special 2, that's easy to remember. But the hardest part is remembering what direction does what for each character. Like, sure, they have a Special 1, they have a Special 2, but do extremely different things. Like, my Special 1 for Jinx is my minigun. But Special 1 forward, I'm throwing a freaking robot. Like, what? I thought it was the gun. Nope, that's something completely different. But my second special is my little rocket. I got my little rocket boys. And that's like kind of the big thing. And that's easy to remember. R2 is rockets. It's always rockets.
Yeah.
I don't need to think about nothing else other than it is a rocket. But S1, oh boy, I don't know.
Easy.
Even Warwick, as easy as he is, he still got a bit of complexity to him. Like, some of his R2 moves, or I say R2, his special 2, um, they build up like rage meter or whatever, but then he has forward and special 2, and that's an OTG. You would think that would be on like S1 or something, but nope, that's a completely different move. Like, that's probably going to be the hardest thing in general. It's just remembering what certain directions do what.
It's not that there's a lot of inputs, but it's just the weirdness of where the button is placed on like default mapping as opposed to custom.
Right. I have mine custom. Oh, let me get my controller out. So like, I play on just a pad controller, whatever, and because there's so many different mechanics, I try to apply each of the mechanics that I know I will use onto one of my buttons. So of course I got my light, medium, and heavy, which is my square, triangle, and circle. And my assist 1 is R1, and assist 2 is R2. So I'm always going to have access to them, and they'll be easy for me to click. My L1 is my assist, in remembrance of freaking Dragon Ball. Had to be one of them. And then my L2 is my parry, because of Street Fighter. I'm just so used to clicking it. So I'm like, okay, give me a sense of familiarity. But then I'm like, oh, dang it. What the heck is X going to be? Well, X could be dash, but I could just do that manually. I play Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm just like, oh.
Like a deep
the only thing that's left is like burst and... So, yeah. My X button is my grab button. That's a weird button for me.
Gotcha.
But I ain't nowhere else to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, a controller can hold every single mechanic for 2XKL. I don't know if a hitbox or a stick, like you would need like a custom hitbox just to have all of those different buttons. Cause like again, you have light, medium, and heavy. Then you have your 2 specials. You have your team. You got parry. You got grab. You got dash. And you have your burst. That's 10 different inputs. Now, yes, I know some of them can be macroed. Like the grab and parry, those can be, their own things. But like team, that has to be its own button, because that's your assist. S1 and S2, those also have to be your own buttons. And then you got light, medium, and... Sorry, I'm dying.
Will keep you alive.
You got light, medium, and heavy. You got light, medium, and heavy. And whoops, you already got 3 right there. And for the most part, you're only going to be pressing 6 buttons. It's supposed to be a 6-button game, right? Well,
hey, there you go.
Kinda. Because not. You got a dash button. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, that has to be a macro of sorts. How do you dash? Well, you could just, flick twice. But that's very uncomfortable to do on a hitbox, on a stick, always constantly flicking. Because you're not just moving your finger, you're moving your whole hand, your whole arm, just to get that motion.
So then here's the counter argument then is now mapping priority is now depending upon either hitbox, stick, or controller. now you have a difference in priority of what mappings are the most important, what buttons or inputs are the most important for the basic movement for fundamental structure. So now this differs.
I can tell you my layout for Street Fighter 6 because that is also a 6-button game. On a controller, it's real simple. I got my, light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, which is square, triangle, and R1, and then light, medium, heavy for the kicks, X, circle, and R2. That's all the buttons I need, technically, because I have everything I need just there. I don't need to add any extra buttons. I don't need to overbloat it, because my L1 and L2, those are free. My L1 is my grab, but I can do that with my face buttons. I don't have to have it macroed, but it's nice to have. Same with parry. Parry is just 2 buttons, both of your mediums. And I like what Street Fighter did, because both of your heavies is drive impact, both of your mediums is parry, and both of your lights are grabs. And we don't know what button you really want to prioritize because of that execution. But when you move that over to 2XKO, sure, on a controller it's fine. You can macro pretty much every little thing. You got the 4 face buttons, the 4 back buttons, and you got 2 clickies of your analog stick. That's 10. You can have 10 different things happening on a controller, naturally. But what about a hitbox? What about a stick? I don't play on those, but I keep that in mind. You would need to have a custom stick with 10 separate buttons just to have a 1-button click to do something. And not everyone is going to want to have that, because that's going to be awkward on their hand. Like, imagine if they have to react super fast on their pinky. They already got one hand occupied for the movement. Now, their right hand is pressing 10 different buttons trying to figure out what they're trying to do. That's a lot. That is a lot. Even Dragon Ball Fighters, I believe, has 6 buttons.
Yeah.
You got your light, medium, and heavy, your key blast, and your 2 assist. That's 6 buttons right there. You don't need a super dash macro. You don't need a dragon rush macro. It's nice to have, but you don't need it.
Right.
And that's kind of how I felt for dash. But people can make the argument, no, you kind of need the dash macro. I personally don't need it, but a lot of people do. And because they might need it, now they have to make a sacrifice. What do I get rid of? I have to have my S1 and S2. I have to have them. I have to have my light, medium, and heavy. I gotta have it. I have to have... What was it? My team, my assist. But what about parry? What about grab? What about burst? I don't know. It's a lot. I think about those things. They gotta be controller friendly on all controllers. Like, when it comes to the debate of controller versus pad pad versus or hitbox. In the Dragon Ball Fighter days, it didn't matter. Like, genuinely, it didn't matter what controller you had. Street Fighter, there are people playing on all types of things. But it don't matter. But in 2XKO, I'm not gonna lie, I think controller has an advantage. Just because they can one button every single time without any execution error. It wouldn't be possible. Because there's always going to be some level of execution whenever you're pressing two separate buttons.
Right.
There's always going to be an error that will happen on a hitbox or a stick. Because they always have to press two buttons. Because they don't have the option to macro anything. Unless they have, again, a custom stick or a custom hitbox that has more than just the 6 buttons. But a controller, I mean, like I said, you got all of it. You got the whole package. And I don't think that's fair. How would they change it? I have no idea. I ain't make the game. I'm just telling you what it is and what's happening with it.
And like what you can see,
This is what they brought upon themselves. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you good.
I don't know if they had hitbox in mind when they were playing the game, but it doesn't seem very forgiving on a box, if that makes sense.
That does, and that's why I brought that up in my aforementioned analysis, where I feel like depending upon the mapping is important depending upon what item you're playing on, be it a controller like pad or stick or a hitbox. They didn't go into. Hey, Kelso, welcome in. You be on 2X. I'm on here for the time being. It's a game I'm gradually looking at to take a look into, and then just pick it up where I can. How about yourself? You been enjoying it? And thanks for tuning into the podcast, Kelso. How you been?
Long time no see, Kelso.
I was here at Iacon. If you guys remember Kelso 2 times, this is here, lurking and enjoying it. So supporting the stream. Alright, next question is regarding characters. So, do characters feel cut and paste with their playstyles? Or does like one or two house, or the majority of them, do they house an original playstyle to them, or some type of risky standout template for the cast? Like something that says, I haven't seen a character like this before. It's really different from the others.
I do. Every character does play differently, even if they fall into similar archetypes. But none of them really surprise me on how they play. Like, they play how I would expect them to play. I'm just more impressed that they were able to translate characters from League of Legends and how they play in there into a fighting game. Like, L.o.L, she's a very, setup heavy character. And in League of Legends, and they made her very heavy setup in a fighting game. Jinx is a zoner, but she's also a setup character. But she's a very different zoner from Teemo. Even though they're both zoners and they both are set play type of characters, I still feel like they play extremely differently. Like, Timo, he is full on zoner. Even his light attacks are literally zoning attacks. um, Darius, he feels like your typical I'ma hit you with an axe. You know? He's not too flashy, he gets the job done. Very easy for pretty much anyone to pick up. Yasuo, definitely harder than Darius, but he feels unique in the sense of you can't just pick him up right away. Even though he is strong, you kind of need a brain to understand a lot of his combos.
So he's a big body that has like an execution ceiling.
Yasuo, not Darius.
Yasuo, yeah, samurai guy.
Yeah, samurai dude. Echo, same thing. He's extreme down. But like you were saying, he feels like a very tracer archetype character. Tracer, even though she's the face of the game, I wouldn't say that she's like the easiest character to play. I don't know. I mean, every character feels different. I feel like they play their role very well. Even Braum, he's supposed to be an extremely big-bodied, heavy character, and he has a really annoying defensive shield that can walk through anything. The only thing I will say with him, he is regarded as one of their characters in the game. And they try with his defense and whatnot. But he should really feel like a tank. Whether it's Juggernaut or not. He should feel like a threat on the defensive. He's not a very offensive character. Once he got his ice shield up, he should feel terrifying to try to zone. In fact, he's the anti-zoner type character. He walks you down. He's not very fast, but he walks you down. And your zoning doesn't do anything to him. He's just going to keep inching his way closer and closer. Blitzcrank, I mean, he's your, designated grappler. He's your resident grappler. Vi's rushed down, but she's very different from, Echo. She's easy in the sense of, new players, but for people who want a rushdown character that you don't have to, do calculus to understand, the rewind system on, she still got a lot of crap. She got the freaking, she got the Luke thing going on with the partial charging into the punch. Every character feels unique and thought out, and I feel like they play their role perfectly. And there are options even within those roles. If you want to play a zoner, you got Jinx, you got, kinda Echo, you got Timo, and you got freaking Ari. I know she got a lot of zoning tools and movement tools. She probably got the best movement in the game. Oh shoot, I forgot about Warwick. Yeah, he exists. Mad rushdown, very wild. Way easier than Vi. Overall, I do think everyone plays their, role. Of course, there are, characters better than others. but if you want to play them, they are there. And you shouldn't be discouraged to play any of them. Try everyone, because you may be surprised on what you like. But, what about you?
And with future characters coming out, what playstyles do you think can work in, like, this archetype that they're trying to build? Or what playstyles do you think have yet to, like, be among, like, the founding playstyles that we're gonna see? Just out of hypothesis.
We definitely need the weird character. We need the Dawson. We need the Dr. Faust. We need those weird characters, man. The one that just completely plays by their own rules. Honestly, I feel like we need more mid-ranged fighters. Like, we need another Shoto. Like, we need your typical Shoto that's like okay at everything, but like not really good at anything in particular. I don't feel like this game has something like that. Like, at first I was thinking, yeah, that could be Darius, but like, his projectile is so slow, it's not even worth doing full screen. They tried to make him a Shoto, but he's too dang big.
He can be a big dude. He can be a big body Shoto. It's just he's gonna have a little bit of trouble. He's a big dude.
See, but Shotos need to be the same size as like Echo or Yasuo. Like,
Totally agree.
They need to be that size. Like, I'm not saying they need to be like as small as like freaking or thin as freaking Ari or Jinx, but they definitely could benefit from a Shoto type character, just something that feels easy. Cause like Warwick, right? He's rush down and he feels real good, but he's rush down. He's not a Shoto. We need someone who can just kind of control that footsie's mid-range game. That isn't Yasuo. Let's see. What are the playstyles? I mean, they have all the basic ones out the way.
Okay.
I mean, what would you want to see?
The weird character, definitely. I would definitely like to see, I guess I would like to see, like, a weird mashup of playstyles to see how they work over here. So, like, I would like to see, like, so I have to see what the zoners offer here, if the zoners actually do, like, zoning, but also have, like, weird combo game with them. Something like Vlav. Or, I'd like to see, like, a set play character on this game.
Yeah, we got a couple of those, but we can definitely get, like, a designated set play that's, like, probably a bit smaller than, Alawi. Because Alawi, she's, like, the setup set play character. And Jinx has, certain setups. But, like, I don't know. They're not very intimidating. Teemo got some. Freaking Teemo. I hate that character, bro.
And then, last one I would say is probably like a Kid Buu assist for this game, where you have characters where they're okay or maybe mid in their own designated design, but as an assist, they're very strong. Like they enablers, let's say. So I see enabling assists incoming. Where they have assists that create like ideally perfect setups.
You want like a Captain Ginyu? Like a summoner?
No, I don't think this game. No, I don't think. No, I think that would not be a good play for this game to have like a summoner. I think this game could also do good from a not summoner, but a puppet character. I think would probably be like a really good inclusion into this game.
Okay.
Jinx and Teemo are both trap zoners. Strong assist, but okay gameplay. And his Braum. Braum assists are amazing, but Braum himself is alright. Oh, okay. Braum's already that. Then okay, then I'll withdraw my inclusion of that thesis, and then I'll just say
no, you don't. I feel like we should, because again, if he's the only character that has something like that, no, we probably do need stronger assists. Cause I'm gonna keep it a buck. Assists are kind of boo boo in this game. I mean, at least to me. Okay, I don't be mad at me, chat. But assists feel kind of weak. Like just compared to just active tagging, assists don't really feel all that great to use. Like, I don't know, they don't feel great. They're fine, but they don't feel amazing. And if they are amazing, it's an awkward input. Another character that I would like to see is just characters with a lot more mobility. And I'm talking about air options. Like a double jump, maybe even a triple jump. I just want to see characters that move in the air a lot more. Excuse me, getting people scared to do an anti-air. One that can get, close to the screen or close to the opponent very quickly, or maybe back away very quickly, just to be annoying. They're not exactly rush down, but they're not zoners either. They're just kind of in and out type of characters. I don't know, cause like Ari's like the only one that has like a true like air dash. I know Echo got like an awkward looking hop. Like that's kind of it. I mean, okay, yeah. Warwick in his like bloodlust state technically has a kind of double jump, but like, I don't know.
You say here another okay character with great assist, splits assists, restand people. Assists are not boo at all. Lowy assists, both Echo assists, Jinx assists, Teemo assists, Braum, both Bliss assists, even Dart. Well, I don't know how much what they all do in the bigger picture of. Well, again, this is why we got to take a look at the tournament, or take a look at a tournament that just passed in order to get like a bigger idea in the landscape of like the viability of them all, and then the priority of okay, in like a heated battle or dealing with other teams, what are like the best assists that also help with neutral as well as setting up the characters' game plans.
Like again, when I talk about the assist, I'm again only talking about what do they do. They come in, they do their little thing, and then they leave. Instead of, them doing a super, they do an active tag and then do whatever. That's usually what I see whenever I'm watching all these 2XKO, fights, or whenever I'm fighting anyone in 2XKO. Like, they almost never actually use the tag, or excuse me, they never use the assist function. I almost never see them actually do an assist. They always just call in the character, and they're about to do an assist, but they just tag. And now that's the point character, and the original point character was just doing whatever he was doing before, and now he leaves. But I've never seen anyone just use the assist, and that was it. Heck, even like, even Teemo, Chris G, homeboy literally just starts with level 1. He just does level 1 outright, and then calls in Ari tags, And now Teemo's doing this freaking level 1 as he is going in and just whacking them. I'm just like, okay, was that an assist or was that a tag? Like, I don't know. It feels weird. Yeah, they do. But I just don't see anyone use it. Well, in comparison to tag, they might as well be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, they are good. I just don't see a point in using them when tag is so strong. That's my thing. Because again, I can't even give an example, even now, of people using assist in, replays or even just against me. It was always active tag. Always. And if it was an assist, it was always their down assist. Like whenever you killed the character and they do their down assist, that one's extremely strong. But that costs a bar to do. But yeah, I mean that is really good, really strong. But that's like the only time I ever see people just legitimately use assist just for the assist. I don't ever see anyone just use it.
Okay.
Bro, run into Blitz. Most people don't play them. I usually run into Yasuo's. Or Teemo's. Or Warwick's. Or Darius. Or Jinx.
Okay, so that is something to explore. Next question.
Darius This character is made for scrubs. Yeah, that's hilarious.
he's a big body dude. His playstyle kind of reminds me of what's that dude from DNF? Big holy priest guy.
I don't know. I haven't played that game.
I just can't remember off the top of my head, but that's basically what he reminds me of with his playstyle and his approach.
Yeah, no. Like, the most run-in character that I've, like, played is Teemo, Warwick, Yasuo, and Echo. They're, like, the ones I run into the most. Jinx, like, yeah, I'll run into her every now and then, but, like, I don't even see her that much anymore. I don't ever see Vi. Don't ever see Braum. Don't ever see Blitzcrank. The only time I see Ari is when I'm watching other people play. Alawi? I don't run into too many Alawis. And if I do, they don't get a chance to play the game. Like, I don't know. I don't play ranked. So, rank 0. I'm usually in casual matches.
Gotcha. Next question was going into maybe touch on something, but do you feel the mechanics and character styles hold up to favor a lot of tag fighters' interest and creativity?
Wait, what was the question? Sorry, I was reading what he said.
Oh, okay. No, I said, do you feel the mechanics and character styles hold up to favor a lot of tag fighters' interest and creativity?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I just see tag anyway. It was always tag and the tag and the tag. That explains why you only run into 3 to 5 characters. Well, they did just recently add ranked, if I'm not mistaken. Like, ranked hadn't been out all that long. But yeah, I don't usually play ranked. I don't ever see the point in it. I play to have fun. If I wanted to play to win, then sure, yeah, I'd probably play ranked and just play the best characters in the game.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my thing with ranked matching pretty much any game. Like, I don't care.
Next question then. Goes back up on my phone. Do you see beginner-friendly characters and advanced-based characters already with this roster outline?
Yes. If you want a simple character, play Darius or Warwick. If you want an advanced character, play like Echo or you know what? I would say Teemo. I wouldn't say Teemo is like an extremely easy character. Like he definitely got some tricky combos. If you want to be like actually annoying with him, you need to know what you're doing. Ari, I'm not gonna lie, she just struggles for no reason. I feel like she needs to be better. That character is so she does not do a lot of damage. She got a lot of movement and definitely can have long combos, but like the damage just ain't really worth the extra combo. Like compared to Yasuo, where he got long combos, but they do a lot of damage. Ari got long combos, but it just kind of like, yeah, Echo for sure. I would say Vi is a mixture of easy and hard. Vi is easy to pick up, but she's hard when you actually want to do her like extreme corner carries, the freaking loop punch, the flash knuckles. Oh yeah, allow is pretty easy. She seems hard at first because she's kind of big, but like nah, she's actually dummy easy. Especially when she can get her gameplay going. Like, the moment she has a tentacle on the screen, bro, she's like baby mode, I'm not gonna lie. Jinx. For me personally, she's difficult. And the reason that I say that she's difficult is because I'm not used to playing zoners. And, her combos, like, she got some pretty advanced combos that require strict timing. But her biggest thing is she doesn't have a cross-up move. Like, not like the other standard characters where they could just easily cross up. Whenever she crosses up the opponent, it's really difficult for her to take advantage without an assist. So, like, you really gotta, like, know where you are and where the opponent is and how far away they are from you. Because you better snipe them with a freaking, like, down boom. No, I don't. Look, I've pretty much mastered, well, I say mastered. There's only one combo I cannot do with Jinx, and that is her rocket loops. Like, whenever she does the big strict timing rocket loops from like corner to corner, I can't do that. I don't think it's worth it personally just because of how hard it is, and I can get a similar amount of damage for way less. But her real difficulty comes with how slow her buttons can be. Like, her fast buttons are really stubby, but her big buttons are really slow. It's the, her robots. The Monkey Bomb and the little chompers. Trying to incorporate those into a combo. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a combo that I have been practicing, both from the combo trial and just in general, where you electrocute the Monkey Bomb and you whack it towards the opponent. For some reason, and I don't know why it does this, but I don't like how inconsistent it is. You're supposed to be able to hit that electrified Monkey Bomb into the opponent, and it obviously does a big stun. It's supposed to stun them for a full combo. But sometimes the explosion will go off, but it will completely whiff on them. And I'm just like, why are you exploding so early? I thought, like, it's, I don't know, it's weird. Same with the chompers. Like, whenever you want to actually interact with the chompers, whenever I do my down medium, sometimes she'll just completely whiff the first hit and just go straight into the second hit. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh my god, I can't tell you how many times I've missed it. And I can't get it consistently either, because sometimes she'll hit it, sometimes she'll miss, and sometimes the combo just drops because the explosion didn't actually hit the opponent. So then it ruined my whole combo. So, at least for me, quality of life. Quality of life. Make those more consistent, especially in a combo. Like, if I'm already comboing the opponent, my electrified Monkey Bomb, when I do the correct hit interaction, should do the same thing every time. Like, it should stun them for my combo, unless, you know, they do a breaker or whatever. A former top player from MVC, and now he's a dev. He's also a troll. The character is absurd and annoying. You know, I feel that. I feel that.
Ah, okay. So the playstyle is an emulation of his wishes, so to speak.
I felt that. I feel that. But yeah, I mean, that's all I would say for Jinx. Like, I'm not asking for buffs or whatever. I just want quality of life, because I actually think she's fine where she's at. But for those, you know, more complicated combos, when you can get those, you know, Monkey Bombs and Chompers off, I'd like to be able to hit my combo consistently whenever I'm doing the right hit interaction. Also, I feel like the first hit of her medium, that hitbox needs to be extended. I'm not gonna lie to you. Why is she whiffing her crouching medium in front of her chomper? Why is she whiffing? I don't get it. How did you get here? Like, the chomper is right in front of her, and she whiffs her whole medium kick. How? I don't know. That bothers me. But again, that's just a me thing. That's just a me thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh, no, you're good. The question was, do you see beginner-friendly characters and advanced characters on the roster?
Right. Yes, I do.
This pivot was necessary.
I do think all of the characters. I do think all of the characters are easy enough. especially coming from a fighting game background. Like, if I had to choose the hardest character to actually play in the game, it would be a three-way tie between Echo, Yatsuo, and maybe Teemo. Just because, zoning sounds easy until you actually have to do it. And, you can put Ari up there as well, But, for the most part, like, all of these characters, you can learn them. They got very simple combos, and especially with the combo trials, they're very easy to understand on what they want to do with each character. But the easiest character by far is Darius. Darius is by far the easiest, brain deadest character I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And Warwick. So if you're starting out the game, Darius and Warwick, they are the easiest characters to play. I don't really care what anyone says. Push buttons the character. Literally.
My goodness.
Bro, no, like, Rod, I'm telling you, that character's stupid. Like, he's easy, but he's also not bad, and that's what's annoying. Is that he can just do things, and, like, you just cannot stop him from doing those things. He just does things, and I hate it. And if you're good enough with Yatsuo, he's pretty much the same thing. Like, to top players, all of these characters are the easiest characters. Like, that's just... Or even just mildly good at fighting games. Like, if you are, like... Let's say you're, like, platinum ranked in Street Fighter, right? All of these characters are easy. In my opinion. All of these characters are easy. All of these characters do a lot of damage, or, a decent amount of damage. All of these characters have a very simple game plan. When you learn them and whatnot. The characters that, again, are probably going to spend the most time is Echo, Yatsuo, Teemo, maybe Jinx, and Ari. But even then, that's kind of pushing it. I thought Echo was going to be hard, but then I had to remember, oh wait, this is a one-button game. I got one-button special moves. What? This ain't hard. Braum's combos are hard. No, they're not, bro. Braum's combos are easy. Have you done his combo trials? Those are a joke. Those were a joke. I'm surprised more people didn't play him. That character hits hard. But I can kind of see it too, because he a big dude. He kind of a big boy. But nah, he's actually really fun when you actually like know his like basic bread and butter crap. Now if you're talking like advanced, one frame timing loop stuff, yeah, he's probably hard. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know them.
The weenie beanies that they added, the mini combos. Well, what are his real combos?
Right, like, I don't know what the real combos are. Like, I feel like if you do combos from the combo trials, those are pretty much the same combos you need to play the game. Like, you don't need to do extreme advanced combos for this game. This game, you already do a lot of damage from just hitting the opponent. Sure, you could do swaggerlicious combos, but, like, they're not hard. Like, if you want to just hit hard, every character does that. And it's not hard to do so. At least that to me. Again, like I said, maybe Yasuo. Because, like, he actually got a kind of thing. He kind of has to use his brain. Same with Teemo. Like, his partial charge combos, I won't lie, that's kind of annoying. Teemo's combos are, like, his expert ones, nah, bro. They kind of rough. I ain't gonna lie. They're not hard. Well, okay, they are kind of hard. They're a little rough. They're a little rough, but they're doable. Echo. I mean, you don't need to do the extreme stuff to play Echo. As long as you understand, okay, my clone is here. I can do certain things outside of my clone, or I could just not do my clone and make another one.
Commitment versus non-commitment, and either way, I still have an OS. It's just, am I aware of it, and how does it apply to this situation?
Oh, and let's not forget, too, a lot of characters have a way to, like, a lot of characters have OTGs. You don't need to do the OTGs. So you get a massive amount of frame advantage just from knocking them down to the ground. And then you can just set up for whatever the heck you want. And that's really strong in a game like this. Where you just, like, oh my goodness. And you get freaking hard knockdowns off of a grab? Oh lord, you can set up for anything you want. You don't need complicated combos for a game like this. They exist. And you can get, you know, like a little bit of better reward. Like with Vi, they actually kinda nerfed this, but it was minuscule. So like her charge up combos, those do the same amount of damage. They want people to like be like, okay, yeah, that does do more damage. That's good. But if you do her basic combos that don't involve the charging, you're still getting basically around the same damage. So like it don't matter. It's nice to have. It is great to optimize. It's technically better, but like you don't need it. Cause you bet that I'm not doing the extreme, you know, Jinx combos. Heck nah, I'm doing the same combo that I've been doing since day one. Cause it works. Sure, I could style on them. You know what I'm saying? I could style on them, or I could just do my same boring bread and butter.
Gotcha. All right. Last question. We're Gucci.
Oh snap!
For now, until the next big thing happens, or the next project. So, last question. Do you feel League of Legends will or is having more influence as this IP evolves for player trafficking? Or do you think Riot will take specific keys from League of Legends? Like specific takes on how one is successful, do you think the other one will try to do the same thing in that image? Or do you feel Riot will stay doing its own thing?
Honestly, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. On one hand, I'd like to think that, you know, Riot and League of Legends are gonna basically be working together and be like, hey, you know, we want to bring some of our audience over there. So, do this, do that, and do this. Or Riot just doing their own thing. But I don't know what that means. Like, if they do their own thing, as long as they're doing it for the community, I don't really care what they do, to be honest. As long as they're doing it for the community, and that they're putting us first. But, you know, that ain't gonna happen. They care about money.
Yeah, but I mean, it It can still happen. There are crossroads that can happen. I mean, a person can think.
Yes. I guess. Okay, well, I have a question for you.
If I can. Alright, let me see.
Oh, I gotta actually get it up. Hold on. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, so maybe not to you specifically, since you haven't really played the game all that much, but I guess for the chat, and I guess this could be for you because I don't know. But how do you feel about partially charged attacks? So, in this game, from my experience, you have the ability to hold down the attack to have a different effect. However, at least just from my experience, partially charging down the attack and fully holding down the charged attack doesn't really seem to do anything except make the charge come out faster. It's the same damage, it's the same block stun, the same frame advantage, all of that. The only difference is that one came out a little bit faster and was a little bit harder to do. But there's no extra reward for being able to time it correctly. That's how I felt with the Teemo combo trials. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that is absolutely correct, bro.
Wait,
Right, bro. There's no reward for doing a partial charge move. Like, I don't like.
You gotta commit to the whole point of the charge input. So why are you trying to partially charge it? If it's a charged input, you just do the input or you don't do it. You can't half-ass it and still get a reward.
But here's the catch, right? Certain combos don't work without partially charging.
It's not. It's like it's not intuitive. I'm sorry.
And my big thing is, if you're gonna have partial charge, make it make sense, right? Like, if I'm doing a fully charged move, make it have a completely different effect, or just make the fully charged move fast enough to hit the opponent. Like, with, again, I'm bringing Teemo into this because this was a big pet peeve of mine. During one of his combos, you have to do a charge down heavy, but you can't charge it all the way because it'll miss every single time. So you have to partially charge the attack just to, get the same effect. And it's hard to know when you've actually charged it enough to where it'll hit, because the effect looks exactly the same on hit and regular hit. Like, regular hit for the thing and the charged hit. It's really, really difficult to tell when you've got it, because it flashes for like way faster than the human eye can actually perceive. And by the time you realize that the light has flashed, the move has come and gone. It's like trying to react to a grab in Street Fighter. That's not possible.
Yeah.
I also had this a bit of a problem with Vi. The only indication for her charged attacks, even though I do think it does make more sense with her because it's a part of her combo structure and it does give her an enhancement on what she's trying to do. She has a dash, right? This is one of her special moves. And during this dash, she can press light, medium, or heavy and she'll get, a thing. She can hold these buttons as well. So, for her partially charged medium, that's why I was comparing her so heavily to Luke. She has a flash knuckle, essentially, where she can pop them up in the air at a specific time, and she could just keep doing that. I think she could do it up to 3 times. It's kind of crazy. But they all require a partial charge. And the only indication is she lets out just a little bit of steam from her gauntlets to indicate it is partially charged compared to the full charge. But that steam comes and goes so fast, you're not reacting to that. It's just a feeling. Like, at least with Luke, it's a way bigger indicator where you can see the color actually change. The color of his knuckles, like, brightly show that he has partially charged compared to the actual thing. And it has a unique hit sound effect as well. And he will say the same thing every time. Perfect. That's how you know, okay, I got the hit off. But for Vi, it's just a punch. It's just a punch. Good luck. Good luck.
There's good luck. Alright, let me read what you said, Absolute. Partial charge and full charge are the same in terms of results. I agree there. The Ari specifically, partial charge is needed, but full charge just whiffs. Especially for how she plays, actually, that makes a lot of sense. Ari actually needed Q.O.L fixes because of her charge jump heavy combos that were too inconsistent. Okay.
I don't like partially, like, I don't mind partially charged moves if they have a purpose. But if it's the exact same thing as a fully heavy charge, then just make it to where the fully heavy charged attack comes out on the frame that it needs to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no point in having a fully charged attack if there's no difference. For some characters, that's not a problem. But for others, like Ari or Teemo, that's a pretty big deal. And I feel like they need to change that. Personally. Another question that I got for chat.
Alright, chat, pay my...
How do y'all feel about assist characters persisting on the screen? So when they aren't doing anything, they're just there, and the point character is like all the way in the left corner. So both of the point characters is like in the left corner, but then your assist character is just standing there all the way to right, and the screen's all zoomed out. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think that assist characters persist way too long? Or do you think it's the right amount? Do y'all think it should be like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where the camera moves to the highest person and it's just kind of hide off screen?
Oh,
like, how do y'all feel about that? Right, yeah. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Because whenever an assist pops up on screen, everything zooms out and it's hard to tell who's who. At least for me.
Oh, okay, instead of like kind of focusing in order to give you an idea. So
right, like it's just all zoomed out, all the characters are there, and I'm like, wait, is he tagged in? Am I hitting the assist character? Am I hitting him? Like, what's going on?
Right. So, well, chat, let me know if you're gonna weigh in on that. But what I'm thinking is, first of all, it feels like that's a lot of involuntary screen clutter for having the assist be on there for more time than viably acute to the natural call time. I don't feel like it's going to be Happy Birthday, because while Happy Birthdays are a thing in the game, they don't really invoke like a touch of death scenario where assists are called at the same time as you needing to set up or needing to do neutral, however the rest of that goes. So Happy Birthdays, I think, are like the least things that happen, even though you can be Happy Birthday in a combo, but you're not going to be Happy Birthday for a touch of death, if that makes sense. The call time, as long as the call time isn't different for each character, but the call time is like visually acute to a position where the character, the on-screen character is currently and not where they're going to be or where they were. So it doesn't feel like the assist call is inconsistent for the necessity to the situation and what it was called for.
Right, and that's kind of my thing. Like, what makes Dragon Ball FighterZ like really fun for me, whenever you call the assist, they don't just stand there after they're done doing whatever they did. They're actually pretty hard to catch, all things considered. They're pretty hard to catch. And it should feel that way. They shouldn't just be standing there posing, just kind of flexing and all that for like 8 freaking episodes. Nah. You get in there, do what you gotta do, and dip. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. It's for the tag mechanic. They want them to be able to tag, but you tag so late. Like, you can call the assist, they'll stand there, you're doing your own thing, and then you tag them. Now all of a sudden, wait, you're all the way back there.
Exactly.
What the heck? Like, You're still here?
Yeah, like active time residue is like a really big thing in tag games, where there has to be like a balance of time and awareness on screen. Like BB tag, I think probably has like the better timing outline so far of like how long that a tag or an active tag is going to be active when both characters are on screen simultaneously until the other one goes away. That way you don't cater to the Happy Birthday premise I was just talking about.
Right. And a lot of times you're just hitting the wrong character. And keep in mind, you're doing your exact same combo, but now the screen's all extended, and it's like, bro, like, what's going on? Am I hitting you? Is that your assist? Am I hitting the assist? Like, what's going on? Like, that's
Exactly.
too much to be thinking about. I don't know. That's a lot. Heck, even in Mortal Kombat, as bad of a game as that is, certain assist characters, they don't prioritize the screen presence. They can be called off screen and do their attacks. Because we're trying to focus on the main characters at play. If someone wants to be, a tag, their assist should not persist. At least to me, I don't know. It feels off. It feels weird. It feels cluttered. And it makes it very dissatisfying, because I don't even want to do that. I don't really active tag like that. I probably should, but I don't, because it gets very hard to figure out what's going on. And with all the visual noise, sometimes I'm not my brain doesn't register the high five, slapping noise. It doesn't register that whenever they do it, because so many other things are happening. My brain is like just filtering that out.
Yeah, it's not an immediate audio cue that you're listening.
Alright. It's like trying to react to raw tag. Like, it sounds easy at first. Yeah, I mean, we've been playing it for years, and yet people still get hit by it every single time.
Yeah, because there's so much happening on screen visually that you're not able to really hear the one particular audio cue to give you the go-to.
Alright. Honestly, I wish you can punish that type of tag, like the active tag or the handshake. That should feel like a punish move, and the fact that it's not, it just I don't really know. I don't know what to do, man.
Well,
Maybe I'm just bad.
Well, remember, these are just visual observations that we're looking at here. So, a game like this is always being fine-tuned, or, well, not fine-tuned, but a game like this that's always having its mechanics brought to the forefront. There's a chance that they're going to have like some little niche change where little details like this are actually brought into light that can suddenly be susceptible to being punished, being invul, or having no box per se in order to actually pick them out of.
Also, I feel like if you do handshake tag, the assist character needs to go away immediately. Because again, I want to get back into the fight. Like, if you're doing a handshake tag and y'all both are still on screen, okay, cool. Y'all did a handshake. Can you go?
I feel that.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that active tag. I'm pretty sure. Doesn't Hunter x Hunter have the same thing?
Kinda.
Active tagging?
I'd have to see if I can play that more, or decide if I really want to buy it while it's on sale. I mean, it's the only time. It's the first time ever that son of a bitch is actually on sale, so I'm thinking I might do it.
I have the game. I only played it once.
It must have been bad if you only played it once. I already know the business. I've been trying to do some podcast work on that game so far. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But it's also a beautiful disgrace to the tag art.
It is a beautiful disaster.
It's a disaster piece, as they say.
A disaster piece. Yeah, I would use that. That's hilarious. A disaster piece. But yeah, no, that game is bad. I'm sorry. I cannot. It makes me very depressed, very sad.
Hey, if you want to sit and talk about that one time, let me know. I got you. I got a whole Q&A set up for that too.
Honestly, I don't even know what I could say about it other than it just shouldn't have existed. I'm sorry.
No, it should have existed, but the thing is that the world shouldn't have been sold for more than what its visual and internal worth was.
Honestly, I would have been better off without it. Because now I'm embarrassed that it exists. I am genuinely embarrassed that this thing exists. But, hey, we live and we learn, I hope.
Yeah.
That's all the topics I think I have. Yeah, we talked about the frame perfect chart, talked about the quality of life, assist characters persisting.
I do believe we have hit everything.
Oh, I wrote down here, tagging sometimes feels like it overlaps with special moves. And I guess I end up getting burst instead of just an assist during my special move. So, like, let's say I want to do a special move, but I also want to call my assist while I'm doing my special move. I'll get burst instead, because that's the burst macro. And it kind of feels weird to have to time it. I don't know. That might just be a skill issue on my part.
Is there something to note right now?
But, yeah. At least everything pertaining to the 2XKO. That's pretty much all I got. next time we could talk about aura versus aura farming.
Hey, bet. Okay. Let me go ahead and make a thing for that, and then that way put that mods in chat. Edit to right around here. That way I can put a thing over top of here for the final piece. That way it indicates that is the next actual podcast idea premise for aura versus aura farming. And that's next time that we'll also be invited back here into the Orchard Corner to talk about that.
We can also talk about the Dragon Ball Fighters patch. I can talk about how I keep getting my butt kicked in Hollow Knight.
Understandable. Hey, I can talk about what the constant clappings from BB Tag. I can talk about the weird aneurysms I'm getting from playing Mortal Kombat 1, still wondering why I spent a beautiful Benjamin on that video game. Talk about how I'm talk about the balancing of life. Talk about how I'm sitting down here trying to catch a woman in order to not catch a case in a game.
What's going on?
Details. I mean, Roddy Rod's trying to... I'm in a good position right now with the games where I try to not delve too much further into games until I can clear off my plate, and try to see if I can just focus on just the finer things in life. That way I can share a lot of this with.
Okay.
It's like, Mom is nice, but at the same time, Mom doesn't care. She wants to be involved and see a lot of the details that I do, but at the same time, she just cares about me winning. And winning is harder to do when the market is attaining to more younger people.
Yes. Well, we all win in different ways.
That's true. I just can't get an old head to see it like that. It has to be very...
winning to me.
I appreciate this. Key thing is that I just stay at it in order to just be an example to a lot of people that either follow me or believe in me. So I just stay at it. And so far I have all these tickets to my name, so I mean, let's have something. It might not be full-on championship material, but it's enough to at least contest champions.
Hey man, when you become all big and popular, just remember me.
I'm already there. I'm already there, and you're right here with me.
Yay, we made it!
Just because I don't have 10K or 100,000 views and whatnot on my channel and whatnot, I still feel big because my following helps me feel big. Those that believe in me help me feel big. And I can see it in my work, even if it's not like from me or my own personal content or ideology. It's where it goes and where it comes from through me or through my platform where it becomes enhanced or multiplied. So even if like people don't really want what it is that I bring, it's what I bring from other people through my platform or through my lens that I can see the value of my worth. That's how we ended up doing these podcasts after a while again.
And now you're inspiring me to do my podcast again.
Bet. Hey, say when, and then I'll be back on this hush puppy.
My goodness. The Way Off Topic podcast. You remember that? Man, that was like years ago.
Almost, yeah. Like before your big break, I want to say it was about a good year ago. Because that was when I was really active hosting Iacon.
That was a couple years ago. The last time I did a legitimate episode, that was a couple years ago.
The last full episode you did was you, me, and Zane, I think, wasn't it?
And we might have been talking about a Dragon Ball patch of sorts.
I think that was one at that point. That was the last time I remember that we had one big huge get together. And it was you and me talking with Zane for like a good amount of time.
Yeah. Cause my goodness, I'm currently doing Coliseum 3, and I'm getting wrecked.
chat. We're gonna go ahead and get ready to raid MightyYahiko, another one supporter of the Iacon battle circuit. He's over there doing some Dragon Ball Fighters, which will be a future stream that we're gonna have, because I also do need to make a return back to home base. The Uni 2 and the BB tag arc is almost complete. So I do need to also get ready to pack it in there and get back to my Kaioken and Goku Black Wings. There's a lot more that I can probably do that I don't know. So I gotta find people to help me know. Meanwhile,